So I'll start with people who have been targeted. So our survivors of spiritual abuse. If you're someone who's thinking about coming forward, my number one is please don't go have those conversations alone.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a Matthew 18 situation. The Lord has not told you that you need to go and have these conversations with abusers by yourself. Please don't do that. If hopefully there's someone who's not the abuser for you to go have a conversation with, and even that, please don't do it alone. And for multiple reasons. One, you do have a witness to what you shared, which is always a good thing. Just not bad to have that. Maybe you didn't need it. Maybe the other person receives it so well, they handle it really well, but it's just good. It's also really helpful for yourself because you are going to feel big emotions in that conversation. And it's helpful to have someone who, if you leave and you're like, I don't really remember what I said, or they said that and I kind of heard it this way, like you're just going to have someone else who was there who can also support you in processing after, which is so just handy to have. I think there's just wisdom in having that, and someone who's going to be able to emotionally support you. So please don't, that would be my number one thing. Whether you should even be going and having a conversation or not, that would be a case-by-case basis. Would be happy to have a conversation with someone if it's something they're considering and they're navigating what would be the next best steps. But that would be my number one.
When the truth actually comes out, like how is leadership most often mishandling it? And then even are there mistakes that victims are making in that too? Or survivors, I guess I should say.
Sure. So I think the number one issue, like kind of summarizing it on leadership, is that they're hearing the information and then they're immediately going into crisis mode to how do we now handle this? And if I were to like paint a visual, it would be like the person who came forward is just like slowly disappearing into the darkness off to the side as like all these people enter in and it's buzzing and it's loud and it's like, wait, our first responsibility is to this person. And then we also have to make sure the abuser doesn't have their hands on anybody else, right? So we're needing to be with them and we're needing to stop that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we'll figure out the rest. But this person should not be suddenly, they're not the person, they're not the informant. I would say they're almost treated like an informant of like, oh, you now came forward, you informed us, and now we take the information and we go do everything we do. It's like, they're not an informant. Like they're a person who was just wounded in the name of Jesus, whether directly or indirectly. And that's our primary. So that is the biggest breakdown I see. And it looks like a lot of different things, but that's the biggest breakdown that I see. And then again, for the person who is walking through this, they are the one who has been targeted. There is so much that person is navigating in that moment that the biggest caution I would have outside of what I already mentioned of if you're going to have a conversation, please don't go it alone. If we're backing up to like, we don't even know if we're having a conversation yet, which is a good place to start. Again, let's start with a question mark there. It shouldn't be just assumed that you're going to. If we're going to put a question mark there, the first thing is it's not going to be great if we isolate for too long. That would be my other caution for people. And I'm going to say that some people may hear that as like a community thing from a Christian, which sure, but we can also need breaks from community.
Yeah.
I myself have definitely needed breaks from community. There's a lot that goes into being a part of a healthy community again, or finding a healthy community. What does that even look like? Is that even possible? Yes. And there are some things it looks like, but again, that's a journey. But isolating even from a neuroscience perspective, it shows up in research that it does affect us when we isolate for an extended period of time post a traumatic experience. And it doesn't actually serve us as far as what our goals may be for where we want to get to. And so I just want to share that. Like, I don't want to rush anyone into any kind of relationship if there is one person that you can be connecting with. If you're in a position and you want to have someone who is a professional support person, because you're like, well, they're confidential, I can sue them if they say something. And so that feels really safe. Whatever it looks like, to at least have someone, because that extended isolation ultimately is going to cause you more harm as you move forward in your process. And I would love to get that message to people sooner. Again, with the understanding that that's really scary. Who do you trust? A support professional could be a great place to start. And it doesn't have to be beEmboldened. Anywhere. Find someone locally where you're like, I can go in and I can process this and I can at least have somebody.